welcome back to Coffee with the Wolves, presented by JJC Athletics. I'm your host, Damien Dennis, and this week I'm joined by the first women's wrestling national champion here at JJC, Katie Ramirez-Quintero.
Thank you for having me.
How you feeling?
um, it's definitely settled down now, but I think it's just because last week I used it to process it all because after the tournament, I mean we were all tired. We were done at like 10 for the reward ceremony, so we were just kind of tired, trying to get home as soon as possible. But I think it took me a little bit to process that I had just won a national title.
Yeah. You processing that. What were kind of your emotions when you first learned, like, hey, I won this? What were your emotions immediately, and like, how long did it take to really settle in? You mentioned you had a week to process it.
Right. So after like the whistle was blown, I mean, as like a wrestler, you imagine winning a national title like your whole career. And I always thought I would be like one of those like emotional winners, but I don't know. When I won, I was just kind of like, it was just kind of like the storm was over.
Yeah.
Like, okay, like I got what I had worked for. I felt like I deserved it basically. So I was like, so I was just kind of happy about it.
What was your preparation like for the tournament? Because I know I had texted your coach and was like, hey, I need, quotes from you and, Katie. What was your preparation like? And were there any nerves you had in any of the matches, or was it just kind of getting started?
Oh, definitely. I was so nervous. It was definitely starting to hit the week, like Monday of the week we were gonna leave. I was at practice and I was like, every day I was thinking about it. I was like, oh my gosh, this is like the last tournament of the season. Like this is nationals. Like I can either be an All-American or not. And I really wanted to be an All-American, so I was like this is all or nothing basically.
Yeah.
But I think the first match was definitely my most like nerve-wracking one. I mean, most of them always are. Your first match is always like the first match slump is what we call it.
Yeah.
But that's just because, I mean, it's the first match of the week. I mean, the day. So, and it's been a while since we last competed. So I was like, I was just kind of I was adjusting as the tournament went on. And
kind of getting back into the rhythm of it.
Yeah, that's basically what it was. But as the tournament progressed, I just kind of felt a lot more comfortable and calm, mostly because the team definitely helped a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, we were just every time we had like a little break, we were just up in the little section where all the teams were, and just we were having a bunch of fun. Literally, that's where the memories are made. So, yeah, that definitely helped a lot.
Yeah. How did you kind of calm those nerves moving through the tournament? Because, the first match slump, but then you make it to the finals, win the finals, So at some point, I mean, the nerves could still be there, but you clearly worked through them to some extent.
Yeah, so this is a funny thing that me and my partner always say. Anytime like we know like there's a match that's high stake and really important, we just call it like, oh, it's just another drill match or like another flow match. We just act like it's practice, because to some extent it really is. Like it really is just a harder version of like a live match at practice. Like that's all it is. And I think once you like ease off like all the pressure that's on that match, it just makes it easier to wrestle. So that's what helped me a lot. Just switching that mindset from, this could make or break like how I end my career, or I could just have fun. I could just go out there and have fun.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I chose to do every time.
Right. Let's talk a little bit about the team overall. Finished 9th place, I think it was, overall. The highest rated D3 school in women's wrestling. What's that mean to you and your teammates?
Oh, I didn't even know that happened.
Yeah.
I was kind of more focused on like the individuals.
Yeah. Well, now you know.
Now I know. I mean, that's so cool. I mean, considering like this is only the second season, that's wrestling is at JJC. I think that's really cool, and it shows like how much the sport is progressing in terms of like skill. Because because there are a lot of girls in the area around here. Um, because I know a lot of them because I've went to clubs with them.
Yeah.
And, there's a lot of talent around here, and if the JGC could get more of them here, I mean, there's no stopping us really.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about some of your teammates. You mentioned the team overall finished ninth
Yeah,
place. I don't have the memory of where everyone else finished, but I know E performed really well.
yeah, she did.
There were how many travel was it 6?
I believe it was 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 6 of
Yeah.
us. Yeah.
Everyone kind of performed, to well enough to get that ninth place finish out of however many teams. That I don't know, but
Yeah, I don't know
yeah.
either.
But the team finished really high. Your teammates did well. Do you just want to shout out any of them?
Um, oh, E especially. I
Yeah.
mean, she all American. I'm really proud of her. You know, she's such a good partner. Like every time we would go together, it was definitely tough.
Yeah.
But iron sharpens iron. That's what we say. And I think we definitely helped each other grow a lot over the season.
Yeah.
So
Kind of getting to nationals, let's kind of backtrack a little bit for the season overall. Because we only featured wrestling here twice, I think, at the beginning of the season, then right before nationals. So I want to talk a little bit more about just the season overall and you getting to this point. Were there any ups and downs throughout the year that kind of prepared you for your performance at the national level?
there definitely was. At the beginning of the season, it was really hard for me to find the time to really dedicate myself to just wrestling. And me and Woods had a talk. Like we were like, you can work your whole life, but this might be like your last year of that you get to do what you love to do. And I was like, I had to make a decision, and I decided to make it work. And I'm really glad I did. Like I'm really glad Woods talked me into it because I was thinking about quitting. But I'm really glad I didn't because I mean who would have thought I would have been if you would have told me I was a national champion like in October, I would not have believed you at all.
Right. What can you speak to Coach Wood's kind of just coaching style and philosophy? He's no longer with JJC,
Right.
but just kind of his mentorship throughout the season.
Yeah, so he was like the way he coached definitely got me through a lot of like the mental blocks that I had.
Yeah.
Um all the talks we had, like it was definitely a struggle at the beginning, but just the amount of faith he has in his wrestlers and like confidence that he has whenever we're out on the mat, it definitely helps one calm down a little more because you can't perform well if your coach is also like freaking out in the corner when you're
Yeah.
freaking out. So that definitely helps.
Makes me think I wouldn't be a good coach with the way I play college football video games, freaking out. Let's talk a little bit about just your wrestling path to this point. How did you get started in wrestling, and what led you to JJC?
So I started. This is always like a very complicated path that I like to tell people, because I really don't know like how long I've actually been wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
So I started off when I was 9. I started off with jiu-jitsu first, which is still grappling.
Yeah.
So I did that all through 8th grade year, and then COVID hit, so I had to take a break
Mm-hmm.
completely. Like I took a year off the whole entire time we were on lockdown, and then I went back into it, well, to wrestling, not jiu-jitsu. After that, I was done. But I wrestled through middle school and all that. But I never really did a full year, so I don't count them as like
Yeah.
years. But really, I started doing it all year round. My high school career.
Yeah.
And really, I only did freestyle, my senior year. So I'm definitely new. I was definitely new to the freestyle, but I had been wrestling for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, in terms of what led me to JGC, junior year, I got injured. So that definitely harmed my performance at state that year. I didn't place after being ranked number 2 and number 1 the whole entire season.
Yeah.
That definitely hurts a lot. Um, So going into senior year, like I kind of just was doing it just to like finish off what I had started. So there was no real like passion there, um, but you know so I wasn't thinking about wrestling in college. But one of my teammates, he told me like, hey, you should reach out to JJC, um, just to like maybe continue your career.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about it, I was like, maybe, maybe not. And then I just ended up texting Coach Woods. And then, you know, we hit it off. I came to the campus, had a couple practices over the summer. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to stick with this. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I felt like I met some of the girls and, you know, it felt like a family already. And I was like,
Yeah.
so that's what definitely drove me to
Yeah.
to JGC.
In terms of wrestling, are you going to continue? Like, are you hoping to maybe move on to the next level, or are you do you think you're done or just about done?
That one is that's a common question I keep getting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm really trying to make it work, try to compete, try to keep competing. My senior year, I actually thought about competing for Team Mexico because I see RBY, Austin Gomez, and Alexis Gomez, like all of them.
Mm-hmm.
They're wrestling for Team Mexico, and then a couple of their girls actually were shown out at the Wrestling Night of America, the one with Spencer Lee and Ono,
Yeah.
that big event. So they showed out there. I mean, Team Mexico won every single match. So that was definitely something I've been thinking about again. But in terms of college, you know, just like the career path, like it's either the career path of like the rest of my life or just
Yeah.
wrestling. So that one, it's a little hard to combine those two because I mean, wrestling is like so new,
Mm-hmm.
women's wrestling, and there's not that many schools with like the programs I want
Yeah.
and wrestling. So that's definitely like a tough choice to pick. But yeah, I've been trying to incorporate both of them to
Yeah.
see my options. So
In terms of, you mentioned career there, but not wrestling, it sounded like. So, like, I want to ask, you have a major at JJC, and what is the major, but why that major?
um, so I'm majoring in chemistry. I originally started off because I wanted to go into pharmacy, but after I started working in a pharmacy, I was thinking, you know what? Maybe I'm gonna shift. But I mean, I still love chemistry,
Yeah.
so I'm trying to get a PhD in it, just because I feel like that opens my options a lot more than just a pharmacy. So I would like to explore um, either ending up as a medicinal scientist or
Mm-hmm.
in working for the EPA.
Yeah.
But a PhD in chemistry does for both. So
Yeah. No, those are some lofty goals there.
yeah.
But I like it. I have my master's, which I never thought I'd get, because I got it like 10 years. I think literally 10 years after I got my bachelor's.
Oh.
So, uh, but yeah, how do you like JJC? Just as a campus, the environment.
I like it. It's pretty quiet, and I think that's kind of an underrated thing that people don't look for in colleges. I like the fact that it's quiet because um yeah, it's pretty calm over here. I mean, you can do your work. I mean, here in the event center for athletes or anywhere in the campus.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty big campus too for like community college. Like, it's pretty big, so
Yeah.
yeah, I like the
Well,
faculty too. So
yeah. Well, Katie, I think I've stretched this about as far as it can go. Usually we have a coach and a student athlete on,
yeah,
but I've only got you today. So, but congrats on your national
thank you.
championship. Congrats on just, good luck moving forward
Yeah,
and whatever you decide to do. Yeah, and thank you for joining me here on the
yeah, of
show.
course. Thank you for having me again.
Yeah. Yeah, this has been Coffee with the Wolves presented by JJC Athletics. We'll be back next week.